Welcome everyone. Today we'll have another video to make more gold on Lost Ark. As you can see behind me, this is a recording of yesterday when the price is super low. Notice that currently I have about 410,000 gold and I have been making about 100,000 gold in the past 1 to 2 weeks. So I really want to share you guys some tips and also guides and also different method of making gold and also finding a discount in the server. So this is my current server with the prices. If you look at the Solar Blessing, Solar Grace, Solar Blessing, those items are about those price. But now if we come over to the game, this is the current price of those items. Notice that those price of the items have increased. So I really want to make a video to show you guys when to buy items, when to sell items, to make some really good profit by investing into different items at different timings of the server. And in order to give you guys a better summary, I decided to do a daily tips and also guide for each of the days, what I do for each of those days. So you can see I have categorized this from the reset of a Thursday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all the way back to Wednesday. There's also additional tips on making more profit on different items depending on how your server works and also if you want to look into those items. So this video, I want to give you guys a more detailed summary of guide and also method what I do each day to make additional gold. Now before we get into the methods, make sure you guys understand those are the methods that have worked for me for the past 1 to 2 weeks. But be careful guys, there will be new patch and those new patch can be unpredictable with the players' behaviors and also the market. I'll be evaluating the market and so predicting the price for us very soon once the new patch hits. So within a few days the new patch will come, right? So before that, make sure you're aware. Those methods have been working for me for the past 2 weeks. But things could change once the new patch hits, so be careful of this as well. And what I do recommend is, if you guys haven't seen this previous video, in this video I shared 3 of the trend in the server. So there will be the daily trend, there will be the weekend trend and also the weekly trend. I'll be mentioning those as well. So if you haven't seen that video, make sure you check this video out because those trends are very important. You understand why do I trade like this on Thursday and Friday? Why do I do this on the weekend? So there will be different methods I'll be sharing with you guys combined with the previous video. Now starting off with a guide, what I want to share with you guys is this is the list of items I'm currently monitoring. I don't really trade the basic future materials, I'm just buying this for my retail, for my homing. So everything else I'm kind of looking into them and there will be possibility of trade at different timings of the server, which I'll explain very soon. Now the Guardian Stones and also Destruction Stones have went up in price, similarly to the pouches and also the retail materials like Solar Grace, Blessing and also Protection. There's also a chance of making some profit on the Lipstones, but those are harder to be predicted. So over here what we can see is, if we come over to the price trend, you can see a lot of items have been going up in price, which I'll make a video to explain why they are going up in price, but in this video we're pretty much looking at how to make profit each of those days. So coming over to the first day after the reset, so this will be the Thursday. Now as for the Thursday reset, Chaos Gate will open at 11 AM. What I tend to do right after the reset is I'll look into 3 items to buy and also purchase, and those are the reasons behind it. So I'll be looking into Guardian Stones, Destruction Stones and also Skill Gems. This can also be the Skill Gem boxes. So what I mean by that is, if we come over here and I'll show you guys the gem chest. So the gem chest over here, they will be selling. Notice that there will be times in the day they will sell much less. So notice that around last Thursday they were selling for like 15 or 14 gold or 16 gold. Now they're selling for 23 gold. So there is a certain reason why those items get much cheaper. And I tend to buy in for Guardian Stones and also Destruction Stones after the reset. This is because the exchange shops and also a lot of items actually reset. So players will be buying items which are tradable from the exchange shops and they will be selling those on the market very quickly. And this is when the price kind of crash in the first 1 to 2 hours after the reset. And players will be doing boss rushes and they will be getting a lot of skill gems. And once they get more skill gems, what's going to happen is they will be dumping that to the market. So if you have a look over here, I have tested some of the skill gems. So notice that some of the skill gems are selling for much less initially. Notice this purple one sells for about 900 gold. This is right after the reset. And later on the skill gems will sell for a few hundred more gold simply because this is after the reset. So those are some of the items I'll be investing into to make some profit. But I'll be only buying those if they're at a discount price. So make sure you have a look at the price. So basically have a look at the average price of the day. Make sure they're much cheaper. So what I tend to do is for the Destruction Stones, those were selling for about 25 gold or 24 gold. Now they have gotten up to about 30 gold. So there's definitely a profit margin if you buy those at the right timing. And this will be only for Thursday. Now, it is also possible that we're looking to lipstones, but I have tried to trade those. Those are a little harder to predict. Sometimes they go up massively because of demand. Sometimes they actually drops. So it is a potential buy if you buy the lipstones at a much discounted price. But I don't recommend it going too much into lipstones because those doesn't have a massive potential to go up massively. Now, the Thursday reset of the chaos gate will start at 11 AM, but this is not the best timing to buy the retard materials. So coming over to Friday, this is usually the better time, so Friday actually have another daily reset for the chaos gate, but this one only lasts for a few hours. So coming over to our notes for Friday, the window to buy the chaos gate materials, which are the retard materials, solar grace, blessing, protection, and also the tier 3 pouches. There will be about 3 windows, so 3 AM to 5 AM, those are the windows to buy them. And what I do is, I'm usually trade on the weekly pattern or weekend pattern. So make sure you check over here for the weekend pattern for the past video to understand what's happening. So what I'm doing is, I'll be buying retard materials at a discount. And similar to, as you can see over here on this video, notice that retard materials are on a discount during those times. So you can see the price of those items over here. And this is actually the price of items over here. So let me show you the market. So you can see there will be a disparity of price of items. And this is when I look into investing into those items. And because this is a weekend trade pattern, I usually don't go for a big profit. Sometimes 15 to 25% profit is good enough for me, and sometimes even lower. So the goal is, I'll be trying to buy those around 3 AM to 5 AM after the Friday reset, and I'll be trying to sell them very quickly after 5:30 AM to about 11 AM on Friday. Now, this is just my personal choice. You can sell them a little later, but be aware, the chaos gate will reopen at 11 AM Saturday, so you have about 30-hour window to sell those. Now, the good thing about trading on the weekend is that prices tend to stay up higher between Friday to Sunday, simply because players will like to play on the weekend and there's much higher demand. So even if you don't get to sell them on Saturday when the chaos gate opens, you still have a chance of making a profit this way. So likely you won't make a loss following the current pattern. Now be aware guys, the current pattern does not reflect what happens after the patch update. So I'll be making more videos which will help us to predict what happens after new update. Now coming over to the weekend for Saturday and Sunday. Those 2 times, I guess those are not the best times to buy into those items, but rather those are the good times to sell items. Simply because Saturday and Sunday, although there's a chaos gate, prices tend to stay high because there's a high demand as players want to, play the game and also spend the gold around the weekend. One thing to notice that in the previous video, you can see me teaching you when to buy, when to trade, and make sure you watch that video, really helpful. So there's a shorter window of trade, which is called the hourly trade. This is when you buy items with the hourly reset of the chaos gate. Basically, I'll be buying solar grays around 20 gold and selling them around 24 gold to make a pocket change of gold. And this happens every hour. So at least for my region as well. So basically what I recommend on Saturday and Sunday, because there's a chaos gate that is opening, but the price tend to stay high, you can consider looking into the hourly trade method, which can give us a small profit. I have made about 500 to 700 gold each hour by doing this, and simply be buying a few hundred of the solar grace at 20 gold back then, and then selling this at 24 gold. So I make 2 gold per solar grace I buy. Solar grace is by far the best one to buy. So similarly currently, so you can see the solar grace currently sells for about 35 gold. Notice there's a resistance at 37 gold. So what I do is I try to buy those at 32 gold and sell those at 36 gold for a quick change of 2 gold of profit. Now once we get down to Sunday, what's going to happen is you can still do the hourly method to buy those items, but now it is optional whether you want to sell those quickly for a pocket change of profit or maybe holding on to those. Because what we tend to see is there may be a pattern of some extreme purchases during the weekend. Some players tend to only play on the weekend and they tend to spend all their gold on the weekend. And because players follow this particular trend and pattern, for example, I have seen a massive gain on the tier 3 pouches. So I'm not sure if you guys have seen this, I actually didn't record it. So back then the tier 3 pouches were selling for about 60 gold. And then there was ones they all of a sudden hit up to 75 gold. And no one was selling at 75 gold, so people were listing there for 600 gold for a moment. So that was kind of extreme. So what I recommend is, after Sunday or during Sunday, if you do buy item at hourly for discount, you can decide to sell them quickly within the hour with the hourly method which we mentioned back in this video, or you can hold on to them and potentially make more profit because there will be spikes of the prices as players have more urges to home their materials on the weekend. Now, once we get to Monday, which is today during the recording of this video, so notice that once we got to Monday, there will be the KS gate opens from 1 AM to about 5 AM, and after that the KS gate reopens at 11 AM. So this is the KS gate opening time, and this one is quite important because I do think Monday is the cheapest time to buy the retail materials, Solar Grace, Solar Blessing, and also Solar Protection. And as you can see, I have been buying those. So you can see my Solar Protection, my Solar Blessing, I have been buying a lot of those during those time, and you can see my gold currently is not on 400,000 gold, so I have been investing into those items. So the best time for me to buy those retail materials will be Monday after 3 to 5 AM, so between this time, or maybe after 11 AM, so not PM. So after 11 AM, price tend to go up a little bit, so the best time maybe is around 3 to 5 AM, and also a little bit around Sunday for the hourly trade to stock up on those items. I'm not in a rush to sell them because I tend to want to make more profit by doing this. Now, there will be two methods I'll have tried to use. The first method is after the closing of the KS gate, there's actually a 6-hour window for the Monday. And during that window, prices tend to go up massively. So the recording of this video was actually the Monday. Notice this is the time. This is the Monday 3 AM time, and those were the price. So though you can see the price here, the Solar Blessing was selling for about 140 gold. And currently those items have went up pretty massively. So you can see the price over here, they have went up to 170 gold. So there is definitely a chance of profit during this hour. And if you want to do a day trade on this one, you can make anywhere from 15 to 20% profit just by buying on those times and selling before 11 AM. But what I tend to do is I like to hold on to my items and sell them after the Tuesday 5 AM, which tend to be a bigger window to make more profit. Now, once we come over to Tuesday, things get much interesting. So Tuesday from 1 AM to about 5 AM, this is when the KS gate opens and there will be a massive gap between the next KS gate. And this is also around the time where we get official news and also patch updates and also roadmaps. So there's a lot of things that happens after Tuesday 5 AM. What I tend to do is I tend to buy materials before Tuesday because materials will be much more expensive after Tuesday. So the price tend to rise after Monday. And once this happens, you can still make a profit, but you won't make a huge profit because price, notice now, this is like before Tuesday. And you can see the price has already risen so highly that you can't make that much profit. I have been still trying to buy Solar Grace because to trade hourly, Solar Grace is still more profitable. But items like Solar Blessing and Solar Protection, they're no longer on a discount. They're much more expensive. Now, one thing to notice on selling the items by Tuesday is that players have learned that they don't actually buy a lot of items on Wednesday because players are waiting for the weekly reset. So what I tend to do with my items that I bought on Monday and items I bought on Sunday is currently notice I have been holding those items right now. So those are the items. What I tend to do is I'll try to sell them after Tuesday 5 AM. And I tend to notice that the price tend to hit a peak around this time much quicker. And then the price would drop lower. So this is what tend to happen. So players have learned that they don't really spend a lot of gold on Wednesday simply because they know on Thursday there will be a reset. So players tend to rush to sell items on Wednesday actually, which we'll talk about very soon. So I actually buy those on Wednesday for a discount. And one thing to notice on Tuesday is this is the first time, our first window for the weekly, official announcement. And the developers tend to announce roadmaps and also new update on this date on the early release of the information. And this can dramatically affect the price. Sometimes price will go up massively because of this. So I do recommend selling after Thursday 5 AM and try to sell those items before Wednesday. And this tends to be the best window to make anywhere from about 20% to about 40% profit. So don't get too greedy, maybe 25% is good enough. So the items I'm currently holding, I can easily make about 20 or 30% profit. So you can see the price is already risen up massively. Now, once we get to Wednesday, things are quite interesting because there is no KS gate. And what's happened is prices tend to no longer peak on Wednesday. This used to be at the start of the game, but players have learned that to wait for the Thursday reset. Now, you can still look into, making some profit on Wednesday. This is simply because prices will fall massively before the weekly reset. Now, given that there's no update, and this is the pattern for the past 2 weeks, so once we have the update, things might change a little bit, so be aware of this. So I have noticed that prices have fallen massively on Wednesday, and because there's less buyers and there's more desperate sellers, they don't want to wait for Thursday for the clear sky reset. So players will actually be selling desperately, and this can give us a discount for items. What I mean by discount is going to be solar grace, solar blessing, and also solar protection, and also pouches. So during those times, you might see a big bargain. So you can see honor shards getting sold by 30 gold or even 25 gold sometimes. And this is why I buy a bit of them. And what I do is I try to sell those after the Thursday reset. So if you do see players selling desperately, this can be a time to invest into some of those items. But of course, if we have the official announcement, things might change a little bit. So although I'm making this video, I really want to make one more video to warn you guys about what might happen with our official announcement with the new update. So once we have the exact information of what's going to happen this week on the new update, we'll adjust to this. So those patterns have been working for me for the past 2 weeks, and I have been able to pick up some profit on each of those days using those methods. Now, while I was testing the profit making method for each of the days, I also noticed 3 items that can be quite profitable if we look into it. So the first item will be the gems boxes. So I have talked about the 6-hour Mari reset. So what I mean by that is, if we come over to the gem boxes, notice that currently sell for 24 gold, so they have been rising up. So having a look at the Mari secret shop, you can see, let me move my head a little bit so you can see the price. You can see this is a 20 pack of the tier 3 gems, and those tier 3 gems sell for 73 crystals. Now the crystal price have been going up, so be aware of this, but there is still a small profit. So notice that if I buy the gems over here for 73 crystals, and there's 20 of those, and if I come back over, there's too many tabs to go. So if I come back over here for the gems chest, so they're selling for about 23 gold, about 20 gold. So the profit making difference is not to buy those from the shop and then just sell them exactly for profit, because this is the basic way. So what I noticed is, for the similar servers, I checked with my friend, so I took a screenshot of what's in my shop. It turns out, at least for my testing, so it turns out that once this hourly reset, so every 6 hours there's a new product, right? And if you do see tier 3 chests on that hour, the price of those tier 3 chests will reflect on the market. So this will increase the supply of those items on the market, and this could tend to push down the price. So notice the price will kind of be pushed down a little bit when this happens. And this could be a profit making window. So every 6 hours, if you see tier 3 chests on your Mari shop, maybe for the same server, players will get similar items. And this could mean that increase of supply, if you do want to invest into those chests, this is the best time to buy them. Now there is method we have talked about previously, what to do with those chests. You can be buying those chests and selling for higher. Let's say if I buy those for 20 gold and sell those for 25 gold, I'll make a 3 gold profit. So notice if I buy those for 21 gold and sell them for 24 gold, I still make 1 gold profit. So there is some pocket change if you do look into this, but there's also a method that you come over to the auction house, you pick the class that tend to have the highest price for gems. So let's say if we pick the War Dancer, usually those are the more costly ones. So if I go to the War Dancers, notice that the War Dancer gems are selling for about 22 gold and 33 gold. So once the 22 gold get bought, the 33 gold are the price for each of those level 1 gems. So players are buying those gem chests at a discount, then opening this at the right class. So if I do the Berserker actually don't sell for much. So let's see, I'll show you guys the Berserker one. So players tend to buy those chests and open it on the right class account. And notice Berserker only sell for 16 gold. So I use my alt account with alt character with War Dancer and buy those gem boxes and sell those over there. I will talk about those before, so I won't go into too much. The second item, which can be profitable, is going to be the Powder of Siege. Now this item, I haven't really looked into this, I haven't really crafted into those, so notice that this item was selling for about 144 gold 5 days ago. Now it sells for 190 gold. I do believe this is because players do look into abilities and, getting their skill abilities to +2, +3. So what I mean by that is, where do we go? So yes, so players have been looking into getting the abilities. Notice I'm still trying to get some of my abilities. So players have been looking into getting the abilities to level 3. And because of that, those items have seen pretty big price increase. So if you are planning to craft those items with the trade skills, or if you plan to trade a little bit of them, make sure you understand there isn't a massive demand, but there have been a rise in price. So if you buy those for cheaper, or if you're making those for cheaper, you can still make a profit. And finally, the item of interest and also item that can make you some gold is going to be the rate up books. That is the tailoring books and also mental oil books for the tier 3. So if you come over here to see the books, so what you're going to notice is they follow a pattern. So after the weekly reset, both of those armor books and also weapon books, they tend to fall down in price because everyone do their dungeons after weekly reset, and they'll be selling those books for about 290 gold. And then by Thursday or by Tuesday and also by Wednesday, those books tend to go up. So notice that if you bought those for 290 gold and sell it for about 400 gold, you make 100 gold profit for each of those books. And this tend to be the pattern. I have been testing this for 2 weeks, and this seems to be the case. Similarly, for the weapon books, you can buy those around 600 gold and sell those around 800 gold. So notice that they follow a pattern. And the pattern over here is that prices are much lower after the weekly reset. And then it hits a peak around Tuesday and also Wednesday, so before the weekly reset. Now, I wouldn't say you want to invest too much into those items, and you do have to wait a few days, so some players don't like to wait longer. So those are some of the profitable methods, but I don't do those often, simply because I have my own trading strategies up here over those methods. But I have noticed that those items can also be profitable. So if some of those methods doesn't work for you, you can also look into those items for your server. Now, hopefully you guys found this video helpful. I have been taking a little bit of breaks to spend more time with family and friends during the Australia long weekend, and I haven't been making as many videos. I do plan to make more videos for the upcoming update to predict the prices and also to predict ways to make more profit. And also, as you can see on my account, I'll be making a new homing guide. You can see I'm currently 1621. I'll be making my homing guide to, I'm not 1621, I'm 1421. I'll be making more homing guide to 1445. So those will be the next homing guide for us, and we'll be looking to upgrading gears and also the cheapest way of doing that. So looking forward to more videos after the new patch, and very excited for the new patch. There can be also new items and new loots we can find once the new patch comes live. Now, if you guys haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, make sure you do so, because we'll be getting a lot of guides, a lot of tips as I discover them, and I love the game. So I want to share as much as I can with you guys, and let's have a great time in Lost Ark as we explore this game and get the most out of it.